Imagine. Imagine in this day and age, we are actually getting a final product, a video game that doesn't really have any major game breaking bugs or glitches, is actually enjoyable to play. No microtransactions as far as I can tell, and I don't think there are microtransactions in any types of games like this, and just an overall polished AAA title. What's going on, everybody? Cryptix, and I just really wanted to make a video on Elden Ring. The reason I haven't uploaded in about a week or so is because I've been playing this game nonstop. And yes, it is that good, even if you're a casual guy, right? And I'm just gonna, flat out say, I'm not sponsored. I'm not trying to sell out or anything. If you are sick and tired of playing the same old Call of Duty every single year, sick and tired of playing sports titles where they just update the rosters and charge you $60 to $70 along with microtransactions, if you're just tired of being shafted by unfinished AAA titles, this is definitely the game for you that you should at least give a try. For me, it's arguably top 5 video games I've ever played all time, and I'm not even trying to exaggerate off of the hype. It is truly that amazing. Alright, so we're going to get into a couple of little things here and there. There is one bug that I do want to mention for this game, but overall, great game. If you're here for the short end of the video, just get the game, play a few hours, and then come back to the video and let me know how it is. All right, but we're just gonna be flat out talking about the pros, the cons, and all that stuff like that. So before we get into it, drop a like. Let's aim for 50 likes on this video. I know at least 50 of you are going to be watching this, and yeah, let's just get into it, man. All right, so basically I'm about halfway through the story, I believe. I've done a bunch of side quests. I've probably packed in about 32 hours, it says within my profile of the game, but realistically I've probably spent about 40 to 50 hours on the game already, which is pretty psychotic, but I'm just enjoying it that much. I am a mage, so some people feel a certain type of way about mages because yes, you can probably cheese most enemies because the enemies don't go out of a certain boundary, and then you can hit them with ranged attacks. And I mean, I am pretty high up in level. I actually just rebirthed my character. If you guys don't know what that is, when you get to the second castle, you can change the stats on your player so you don't have to reset and create a new one, which is an amazing feature that I think other video games need to do. But overall, I'm just really enjoying the product. Now, let's talk about the one bug that is, I guess, kind of clouded this game's launch, which I think a lot of people need to get an update on. Basically, when you got this game and you got it on PC, even on the high-end hardware, I'm talking graphics cards that are worth thousands of dollars, are not, I guess, optimized well for this game, or the game's not optimized well for the hardware is the better way to say that. And basically the first, I think, 24 to 48 hours there were lag spikes on PC users with a PC. Now I believe there has been some updates that have been made from Software, which is the developer of this product, and I think right now it's not fully optimized to the point that you can run ultra settings, but if you're worried about frame rate, and yes, frame rate does matter in this game where you're dodging and sometimes your death is reliant on the milliseconds of the reaction time of your player, you can run medium settings and, you can actually get decent frame rate. I'm talking 60 to 70 frame rate for those of you that only run on console. For PC, that basically means it is a smooth experience, no spikes in lag, no spikes in frame drops, things like that, right? So overall, that's the only thing that is actually, I guess you can say, hindered this game's launch. But even then, this game lives up to the hype. It is definitely hyped up for sure, but again, it's well deserved, right? And I think a lot of other video game titles, especially because, we're living in a day and age where we're just getting like half-assed products with not all of the content within it at launch, all these road maps and things like that. This game came with everything in the box, and I don't know if they're going to come out with DLC later on, but there is nothing missing in terms of content for this game. I think a lot of people would have felt differently about this title if, let's say, the roadmap that theoretically, if there were a roadmap for this game, consisted of, a castle for each season and you couldn't complete the game for a few months. People want to just, grind and beat the game right through. They want all of the content at launch. And this game gives that to you, which I think plays into the hype train that is Elden Ring. And again, the hype train I think is positive because, again, it lives up to the hype, right? So all these other video games, they're coming out with all these just poorly polished titles. They're just awful products like Battlefield 2042. Cyberpunk 2077, yes, I know, it has come out with an update, but it took them a year to come out with an update. I think over a year, actually. So all these other products, when they launch, they just have bugs, they have glitches, they have things that ruin the user experience, and if we're talking technicalities here, Elden Ring had a little bit of a bump in the road, but then it was optimized at least to a decent extent. Compare that to Elden Ring. Every other title that you've played, let's say for the past couple of years, can you say that you've enjoyed another title that provides all of the content to its user that isn't like an overpriced title that has, all of the content within it without microtransactions? I don't think so. I haven't really come across myself where there's been many games that have actually provided all of that content to me. And I think the one thing that comes close to Elden Ring, just in terms of enjoyment for my own personal self, this is just my own opinion. I know there's going to be some From Software, basement dwellers that are going to just dislike the video when I say this, but the only thing that has came close in terms of my own personal enjoyment of gameplay has been Halo Infinite. But even then, Halo Infinite has a battle pass. They're releasing content like a roadmap. The, best armor are hidden behind a paywall. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Whereas Elden Ring, I can get all of the armor that I want. I can technically, theoretically, max out my character. I can do a bunch of different things, and I don't need to pay extra money. Nor do I have to wait for a new season to come out to get the armor that I want. And I think that's the biggest appeal for people living in the year of 2022 that is a gamer, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there's not many video games out there that provide the service that Elden Ring gives us, which is a great story, tons of content. I don't think I've even began to scratch the surface of all of the side quests, missions, and different enemies. I've only probably taken out about 20 to 30 bosses, and I believe there is over 100, okay? It's just got so much to offer, and I don't think a lot of video game developers can say that to begin with all time, but especially I don't think a lot of video game developers have been doing us that service in the year of 2022. You can even rewind the clock back for the past 5 years. We have not gotten a decent product with all the content within the box, other than maybe if you're talking Souls games, then yes, Souls games do provide that service. While I was editing this video, I realized I really didn't hit this point in home enough, and it's the fact that the game provides a lot of different challenges. You are going to die in this game, especially if it is your first Souls game. The game is designed in a way where it forces you to explore. It forces you to level up your character before you even have a chance at the first castle. And the castles are what progress the story. And when you do explore and you do travel and you do defeat various enemies to level up your player, you're exploring the world that Elden Ring has to offer. And I think that is an amazing game design, first off. And second off, even when you do level up your character to a point that you have a chance against the boss, it's most likely that you're going to die numerous times before you defeat the enemy. And it challenges you in terms of your memory. You have to flat out memorize certain combos from these enemies so you can dodge at the perfect moment. It also challenges you in terms of your own patience, which I think a lot of people, not to sound like a boomer, but a lot of people in the year of 2022 just don't have, because we have everything at the ends of our fingertips. And I think that can easily transpire to frustration when it comes to playing this game. A lot of people quit this game because it's too challenging, but I think, the people that are dedicated, the people that have motivation, the people that do strive to complete a goal, those are the people that are going to beat this game. And at the end of the day, I think if you think this game is too challenging, then yeah, don't play it, because it's meant for that. It's meant to be challenging. And I think a lot of Souls games, from what I've been told, are supposed to be like this, where you do die numerous times before you defeat that enemy. And then when you do defeat that enemy that you died plenty of times from before, it is even more rewarding than just being handed, defeating the enemy on the first try. I felt so good after completing the first castle, and I haven't really felt that way about a single player game in a very long time. And I think that's what appealed to me, because I was never a Souls guy. This is my first Souls game, and I am playing it like crazy, okay? It offers its own story and its own IP. So if you're a casual and you don't want to, play the Dark Souls series and waste tons of hours, or I guess not waste if you're talking subjectively, but you get the point. You can just hop into Elden Ring and it's a brand new story. You know what I'm saying? It offers its own dynamic when it comes to the story, user experience, armor, content, weapons, characters that you can interact with. And I haven't been even, I'll probably have to make another video because I haven't really done any of this yet, but there's multiplayer as well. So when you level up your character and max him out theoretically, or you don't even need to max him out, you can hop into the experience on day one, which I don't recommend, but you can play other users and invade their worlds. And I know that sounds nerdy at face value, but if you look up the videos, there are some intense battles, and depending on how you level up your character and what archetype you choose, you can do a bunch of different combos. You can create different strategies. If you're a mage, you can do certain things like create these arrows that don't shoot right away, but then shoot at the enemy at a delayed state. And while you're, casting those spells, you can be sword fighting him or luring him into those swords. There's just so many different strategies that I'm probably going to have to get into online. But again, man, just from the single player basis, from the single player experience, it's fantastic. And not only is there multiplayer PvP, there's also multiplayer co-op. So you can complete missions, battle bosses with other friends of yours online. Again, man, it's just got so much to offer that I don't think a lot of video games have given us in the past 5, 6, 7 years or so. So I hope you all did enjoy this video. I hope you'll give the game a try. Honestly, again, coming from a casual player that's been playing Call of Duty and sports games every single year since I've been in middle school, this has been a breath of fresh air. I think if you liked, back in the day there was Knights of the Old Republic, it was a Star Wars game, role-playing game. If you like role-playing games, if you are just enjoying a single-player experience that challenges you, and yes, the game is challenging, you will die repetitively, but it also tests your patience, it tests your, memory, because you have to memorize combos from bosses. I think this could be the game for you. So, again, hope you all did enjoy. Drop a like, subscribe, comment down below if you've played it, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Cryptix, trying to complete the story in Elden Ring, and signing off.